You know how scared you get when you are all alone in your room and you hear something go bump in the night? Or when you are about to bungee jump right at the edge of a cliff? Or maybe even that sick feeling at the pit of your stomach before a big exam? I bet you have these kinds of fears many times in your life. Well, the thing is, I have never felt fear or not. I was born without the ability to experience fear. I thought I had the quietest baby in the world. But the moment you began crawling, I couldn't let you alone for 1 second. You would dare do things no other child your age would. But before we I never called for her, never shied away from a big dog, tried to climb on every surface I could. I would try to drink shiny liquids, and of course, those came from the cleaning cabinet. Imagine how many times my mom had nothing to do with one another. The thing is, I never connect those two things together until it's machines and play pictures and movies for me and measure my brain's reaction to it all. Apparently, as the doctors explained to my parents, the part of my brain that experienced fear simply wasn't active. Was Krista dropped on her head? What if it was her fault after? It wasn't a nice day, but I don't regret standing up to that doctor for my mom. My parents, both my mother and father, were amazing toward me, and they were so patient they didn't deserve to be pointed out as irresponsible or anything of the sort. I was just different. That was it. We never did theorize it was possible, but the risks would be too high, and I could end up with theorize it was possible, but the risks would be too high, and I could end up with long-term and cover their eyes. I just sigh and get super bored. Do you know what else I never got to enjoy? Roller coasters or any other activity that and people wonder what is going on with me. Believe me, high school. I think that I was trying to finally get that thrill I had never experienced before. First, then she scolded me, then she grounded me. God, she tried everything, the poor woman. Krista, honey, you need to understand. You can't feel about to do something, stop and think if I would do it. If the answer is no, then don't do it. Mom would try to reason with me like this. And in theory, up. I can't even tell you how many times I got home with my jeans ripped, with scrapes and bruises, or far worse. My friends got me really into parkour, and we would go to the park. I was a kid doing stuff no other daredevil dare try, so you can imagine how bad it got before long. I actually broke my arm 3 times, my right ankle once, and my left. Parents were super worried about me. Something else that I could do so easily while my friends really struggled with was asking guys out. I never ever had a problem with that. The girls I hung out with would wait and wait and wait for the man they liked and then asked, "Hey, would you like to go out with me tonight?" Plain and simple. Some guys even looked a bit stunned that I was so straightforward. Honestly, I rarely got told no. Most of them said yes, either because they liked me or because they were impressed by my boldness and wanted to give me a try. It was really fun not to be waiting around for someone to take me out on a fun date out. The dreamiest guy at school and asked him to go with me. It was expected he would ask the head cheerleader to go with him, but he was impressed by my attitude and instead decided to go with me. We ended up dating for an entire year. Though it didn't work smart and witty, he made me laugh every single day. And when he discovered I couldn't experience any fear, Gavin made it his life's mission to try and scare me shitless. He tried so hard, the poor thing, but nothing ever hide underneath my bed and wait till I laid down to grab my hand. He even waited in the parking lot, dressed as a big monster, and tried chasing me around. Every single time, I just stared at him, and it was fun. And I like that he tried so hard. If I have to be honest, I'd love to know what being afraid feels like. I feel kind of lonely sometimes, like I can't understand in important, dangerous situations. Let me tell you about the time I almost got stabbed because of my problem. You see, I was just walking through the park late one night. Of course, part of human nature. Let me tell you about the time I almost got stabbed because of my problem. You see, I was just walking through the park late one night. Of course, a normal girl might not do something like that. He didn't really seem like a danger to me. So, not feeling that instinctual panic anyone else would in those circumstances, I walked over to him. Instead, I just stared at him blankly and shook my head almost nonchalantly. "No way, dude, I'm not giving you my money," I told him, clearly shocking him. The guy stabbed at me and I jumped out of the way. I realized it was a dangerous situation, so I did try to get away from there, but it wasn't because I was afraid or anything of the sort. In friend and my parents about it, they really freaked out. That's exactly what they had been worried about for so long that would happen to me. What if the next time the robber did harm me? Well, thankfully, it's still together to this day. He is amazing, even if he kind of annoys everyone around us. His constant attempts to scare me. Usually, what he achieves is to startle someone else in the process. My mom scolded him so badly one time that he stopped pulling those pranks whenever she was visiting. I really don't mind, though, to me, and have freckles. So, that's my story. Hi, my name is Louisa, and you won't believe it. But I and my twin sisters were switched at my story with my twin sister. We did everything together and had so much in common. It was as if we were joined at the hip, like many siblings in our situation. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and activate the notification bell. This will let you live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. We looked just like each other.
I woke up in the middle, but nothing happened. I was 15 years old and I hadn't had my period in over a weekend. And secondly, because that'd be impossible, right? It's really annoying because I love going to the beach. I really was pregnant. My grandma noticed that my stomach was getting bigger and told me there was a legend in our village that if you be more careful. When she told me this, I just stared at her in shock. I actually did go swimming with my friend Jasmine once when I was on my period. Oh my gosh, it was a fish. At first, she just laughed, but then she said her grandma had told her this legend before too. That's why she never swam on her period, telling Jasmine, and a boy from our school had overheard me. You can imagine how quickly the rumor spread of the fish god was true. There was even an old lady who waited outside our door all night so she could be the first one to see it. When I opened the door, crazy person. Meanwhile, as the days went by, my stomach pains were getting worse and worse. So my mom took me to see a local doctor. He didn't look impressed at all and said that that was some crazy old wives' tale and that there was absolute interest. Obviously, I wasn't pregnant. How could I have been so stupid to believe the legend? And yet, at the hospital, they did an ultrasound on my stomach, and I swear I saw a fish inside me. My heart dropped. The doctor was busy talking to my mom in another room. Meanwhile, I felt sick. I grabbed my phone and texted Jasmine and told her there was seriously a fish growing inside. Asked me to bring the scan as proof as she didn't believe me. Now I was really panicking. This was serious. I didn't say a word to my mom until we were on our way home. I told her home Jasmine was waiting for me and we went to my room. I showed her the printout of the ultrasound scan that I had stolen from the medical records in my mom's bag and she gasped. You legit have a fish growing inside. My mom asked Jasmine to go home so we could talk as a family. We all sat down and my mom explained that although it looked like a fish inside me or something, but my mom assured me I'd be okay. I'm now getting regular checkups to make sure the cyst doesn't do any permanent damage, and hopefully we'll save up enough money soon so that I can have surgery. I'm now a bit of a celeb around our village. People call me the girl who fell pregnant with a fish. And there are still random people who turn up at our